This episode is in collaboration with Chia Charge. Chia Charge is about making natural sports nutrition that not only works but actually tastes good and is easy to eat when you're out training, racing or just on the go. It's a founder-led brand built on real experience, helping runners, cyclists and adventurers fuel their days with products they can enjoy and trust.
Welcome to episode 136 of the Local Runners podcast by runners for runners. We are your hosts. I'm Katie Kay.
I'm Callum Parkinson.
And I'm Dave Norman.
And today we've got a Salford Harrier. She's got PBs in the 5k of 17:44, 1500 metres of 4:45 and 800 metres of 2:06. Please welcome Oriel Hardman.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Cheers.
Nice to have you. So, start off by telling us how you got into running.
So yeah, about maybe like 2005, 2006, I was at primary school and school sports day, and I was always like legging it and beating the boys and loving life. And then it was not really something I recognised in myself. It was more from teachers, PE teachers, saying you've got possibly a bit of talent here. You're doing well at the cross country races for the school, and you're quite a good sprinter. So from that I was encouraged to join Bolton Harriers, which was my local club at the time, being from Bolton.
Yeah.
Joined Jack Caldwell's group, who also coached the great Tom Lancashire, former Olympian. So joined Jack Caldwell's group, and the rest is history really. Introduced me to interval training, and at the time what I thought was absolutely hysterical, fartlek training. What does that mean? The only thing I drew from that was it's got the word fart in it.
Made you laugh.
So I was like, didn't understand anything about running, but it really introduced me to like a good bit of structured training. Mainly speedwork and circuits at the time when I was like 13, 14.
Yeah.
There was no like cross country, background running or anything like that. Just going to the club on a Tuesday night and joining in with the sprints and
So was it more about having fun, kind of?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
having fun and just making friends, and I think that's probably the good side of it really.
Yeah. And then you moved into, is it Mike Freary's group?
Yeah, so Mike's a bit of a Bolton legend, as you'll know. He's European and international 10,000 metre runner. Really good coaching credentials, coached a good few good distance runners at the time. So I think he recognised me doing some reps in Jack's group on the track, and saw that I had a good turn of speed and I had like a good build for middle to long distance running as well. I joined Mike's group, which at the time was just a big group of lads really. I was the only girl, which was a little bit daunting at first. But so joined Mike's group, and that like opened a whole new world of training to me really. Big emphasis on winter mileage and putting time into your Sunday runs, and one of Mike's famous sayings was if you don't put it in you can't get it out, which is basically saying before you start sprinkling your speed work, put more of a focus on your background and your cross country running. He was like really big on cross country running, which at the time I'd not really experienced much of other than the odd one for school. So I threw myself into that, and the rest is history really.
Getting out in the hills and stuff.
Yeah.
And how much of that kind of old school grit do you think laid the foundation for you kind of speedier work at like 800 metres?
I think it was absolutely paramount, to be honest. I think a lot of hill sprints and hill running really engages the muscles that you need to run well in the last like 50 metres of an 800 metre race.
Yeah.
I think it really helps your lactic tolerance, and I think working those different systems on the cross country, it toughens you up. It makes you strong. Like, I feel like it's like strength and conditioning for free cross country. Yeah. It works different muscles that you wouldn't necessarily work just pounding the pavements or running around a track. So I would absolutely say it's completely massive.
Yeah. And your PB is 2:06 in the 800 metres.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. When did you get that PB?
So 2009, I think it was June 2009. So I'd already run like quite a good time the year before. I ran like 2:07 at the Nationals.
Yeah.
Got a bronze medal. And so I kind of knew that I was on for getting, I think the World Juniors qualifying time, I think it was bang on 2:07, and I think I'd run like 2:07.95 the year before.
Yeah.
So then the following year I ran the 2:06, ended up doing it at the British Miles Club in Watford. Stuart Stokes took me along to that, so I got a lot to thank for him because he took me there and brought me home. Don't recall him ever asking me for any petrol money or anything like that. So I ran the qualifying time there, and so.
Oh, brilliant. And you just mentioned then that you took the bronze at the national champs, and you beat Adele Tracy in a race that was won by, is it Kira McGee, like when I reflect on that time now, I think it's bonkers because they're both Olympians. I mean, Kira McGee's a superb athlete. Adele Tracy, she runs for Jamaica now, but she was like a really fantastic British athlete as well. So to take the bronze in such good company, no regrets. Nice. Really does. I was mixing it with some of the, what ultimately went on to be some of the best female athletes, on the international scene. So really proud of that. Ah, fab. And you were ranked 6th in the world for your age and headed to Italy for the World Youth. So as a 16-year-old, how did you handle the mental pressure of being on a global start line like such a young age? I
think, do you know what, the honest answer to that is I don't think I did handle it. And I think that's ultimately why I stepped away from the sport, maybe 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
I went there and it was such a different environment. Like, my mum couldn't afford to come and see me, so I kind of went over there on my own, which was fine.
Yeah.
I was with a really good squad of people. There was the GB team are great, They make sure they look after you. But I think being outside your comfort zone, you're staying in rooms that aren't necessarily your comfy bed at home.
Yeah.
You're eating food that you're not used to eating. Yeah. Even though it's Italy, you'd expect it to be amazing. Yeah. But it was just a completely different environment. So it was quite hard to handle. But there's a famous saying in there, pressure is a privilege.
Yeah.
So I did feel really honoured to be there. But handling it.
It's a hard age, isn't it?
Yes, 15,
if you do
16.
Feel privileged at 16.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, I didn't progress beyond the rounds in Italy.
Right.
And I think, had I been a little bit more mentally astute, maybe a bit more mentally astute like I am now, perhaps I would have handled that pressure a little bit better, used less mental energy and run a bit better and progress to the final. Because on paper, I should have been in that final and I didn't progress that far. So I think the disappointment of that at the time, I went home and I couldn't really handle that. I didn't handle it because I'd been riding on a wave of relative success as a junior to suddenly then not do as well as I wanted to. And I just kind of plateaued after that. And, as I say, I did end up leaving the sport as a result. Yeah.
So what would you kind of say to your younger self now, or somebody else in that position if you were to look back?
I think listen to your coach if you've got a good one.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of noise out there in athletics, especially now in 2026 when younger people are exposed to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Yeah. Don't get us started on influencers.
Yeah. They're all platforms I'm not really. I don't do anything like that. I'm a bit of a dinosaur, which is quite funny. I wouldn't know the first thing about it. I'm just not that interested in it really. But I think there's so much noise out there, and I think as a young athlete, there's probably pressure from those forums as well, and comparing yourself to other people. Yeah. So I think what I'd say is just stick to your own path, trust your coach if you've got a good one, and just focus on yourself, enjoy it, enjoy being young, and don't rush it. Be patient.
Yeah. Is there anything you would have done differently, looking back, or?
In terms of the World Youth or just my athletics career in general?
Well, just at that point in your career when you kind of decided to kind of step out for it.
I think, do you know what, I try not to have any regrets about it. I'm a strong believer in everything happens for a reason. Yeah. You find your way, don't you?
Yeah.
If I had my time again, of course I would stay in the sport. I wouldn't have stepped away from it. I obviously had quite a bit of talent for something. And there's an argument to say I could have gone on to do really great things. But I think, maybe put more of a focus on my mental health and getting the nerves under control. Because I actually, reflecting on it, I don't think I handled that as well as I possibly could have done.
Yeah. Again, it's hard, isn't it? It's such a young age, isn't it, to take on something so big. Mm.
Yeah, and I think I was quite gung-ho as an athlete. I never overanalyzed the races. I wasn't obsessive about it. I'd go into an 800 metre race and I'd just be right, I'm not planning for this, I'm just going to run and react to how the other runners. So I don't think that was nervousness, but it was the build up and the what ifs, and I think if I could change anything now as well, it'd probably be just focus on the controllables.
Yeah.
But as a younger athlete who's potentially not as emotionally intelligent as someone a bit older, you know, you don't tend to, you focus on everything. It's all a bit crazy, isn't it? So yeah, focusing on the controllables and just, you know, like I say, trying to block out that outside noise would be useful.
Yeah. We've had it in with previous guests as well, where they've mentioned about that pressure just going up to the start line and how they handle it. And is it Catherine Fitzpatrick?
Catherine,
she mentioned it. She was really open about it.
Yeah.
And I think we all get it, but to have it at such a young age and not know how to handle it.
And when we recorded that episode, we got so much feedback from listeners saying that she certainly wasn't alone.
Yeah.
So many listeners that resonated with.
Yeah. And it's like, it's funny, like I'll openly say, like last year I went through a course of CBT because I was struggling with a few things, like professionally and at work, and just I think as you get into your 30s, you know, your identity shifts a little bit. And I think maybe I struggled with that somewhat, and I think going through CBT really helped me realise that, like, most of the things and the scripts that you've got in your mind, like, none of it's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same with athletics and racing and getting nervous before races. Yeah. Like, you think things and it's just like, hang on, like, you've got absolutely no evidence to support that this is going to go to shit. Yeah, exactly. You've got about a page and a half's worth of evidence to support that you've put a really good graft in and you're probably going to have a good performance. But I think human beings, like, the inclination to focus on the negatives, absolutely. Like, I think that's what we do, because I think maybe prehistorically, back in the cave times, you know, it was adaptive to focus on the negatives to survive. Yeah. So I think we probably do focus on the negatives before getting on that start line and think everything's going to go wrong, when actually none of that's true. Yeah. And that's what helps me now, you know, as I've returned to the sport. Yeah. That's what I try to remind myself of now.
And it's good that you just said that as well. So did you find, like you said, you access CBT for your kind of personal life, but it did help in terms of sport as well?
Massively. Oh god, yeah. Like, it just helped me reframe some of my less useful thoughts, if that makes sense. Like, 'cause I think we all get them.
Absolutely. We're all human, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you can use CBT and other, like, look, it's not for everyone. Yeah. But it certainly helped me.
Yeah. It's just good for people, because at that time when we were talking to Catherine, weren't we, about there is support out there. So that, you know, if somebody is really, really struggling, it shows that, you know, there is something that can help them. And I do think as you're older as well, you're more kind of susceptible to kind of engaging with the CBT model, aren't you? I suppose, like, when you're 16, you've not really got that life experience, have you? Whereas it's a bit easier as you get older.
Perhaps at 16 I would have been like, what the bloody hell, CBT? Exactly. What's that? I'm not going sitting talking to someone telling them about my life. Yeah. So it's interesting, isn't it, how you shift and you change as you get older. Yeah.
And I think people will be surprised on how many other people have actually took themselves forward and actually done it.
Yeah.
So I'm one of them. I struggled a few years ago, and I used it. So
yeah, it can really help, can't it?
Absolutely, and there's absolutely no shame in admitting that you access these services to get help. Like, they're there for a reason.
Absolutely,
use them, and you know, I really believe in, like, mental fitness. You know, you go to the gym and you run to keep yourself healthy. You know, why not try and access something that'll potentially keep your brain a bit more healthy? It's like going to the gym for your brain, really, isn't it?
And it's a massive part of sport now, isn't it? Most athletes have access to, like, sports psychologists, don't they? It's not just a case know, like running, it's not just putting on your trainers and going for a run. The mental side of it is just as important, isn't it?
So, massively, yeah 100%.
And we know someone, Stuart Holliday's a good sports psychologist that's helped us.
Brilliant.
So
yeah, definitely.
Good stuff.
Okie dokie. So just you touched on kind of coaches and people that have been important in your sporting kind of career. So how important do you think are those kind of unsung heroes, as we might see them in a young athlete's career?
Yeah, so I made reference to Stuart Stokes, who, he was, I mean, as well as my mum, my family were, like, massive. Like, they were essentially unsung heroes. They don't get paid. I mean, your parents are your family, but, you know, like, tearing you up and down the country to different races and stuff. But yeah, I think, like, unsung heroes and those volunteers and coaches that are just giving their time for free, I think they are athletics. I think without them we don't have a grassroots athletics scene, and I think without those foundations, you know, we've no future in the sport. We need to look after those people and celebrate them, because in my opinion they are everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's quite funny that you mentioned Stuart as well, giving you a lift to that race, because I think he was still competing at the time. He was racing in that meeting. and it's gone full circle because he's now helping with the coaching at
Yeah.
Salford where you train.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
brilliant seeing him every week. He's a top bloke, and his son's doing really well. And yeah, he's part of like the Ian Grime group and Ian's
that's
group,
nice.
and yeah, it's brilliant.
It's great that he's putting something back now because
Yeah.
he probably appreciated all those unsung heroes as we've called them,
Yeah.
and now he's becoming one himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and just to touch on that, you've already mentioned about when you kind of stepped away from the sport. So tell us a little bit more about that. So was it 2010 that you kind of stepped away from it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'd been, to be honest as well, like when I first started out in running 2006, maybe a bit more seriously 2007, like I had a really short running career.
Yeah.
I went from like running okay-ish times to running really good times for my age. I had like a span of 3 years, so
Yeah.
it was dead short. But I think within that 3 years, I think I'm just like a type A person, me. I think I just throw myself into things wholeheartedly. Like
Yeah.
you probably find that with a lot of runners.
Yeah.
Because I was so immersed in the athletics and doing well, and I was really driven and motivated in that time.
Yeah.
I think there was a bit of a come down from that, where I was like started to see like the bright lights of going to university and drinking and
Yeah.
boys and
Yeah.
like so like that kind of became my life after athletics.
Yeah.
But it was just something else really. It was replacing something.
Yeah. And then you didn't step back into the sport until
No, I literally just had like 10 plus years of just not even thinking about it.
Really? So did you not run at all during that
Not
time?
odd gym session, like
Yeah.
I'd, like in the office.
Yeah.
I'd go and do like a spin class on my lunch.
Yeah.
Do a lot of walking and stuff, but yeah, I was probably more interested in going down the pub, to be
Yeah.
honest.
You never had like a training plan or anything? that
Nothing
stuck
like
to
that. Like it
nailed
was
each
literally
week?
like stopped and pursued a life outside of athletics.
Yeah.
And
So
which
when
was
did you
good.
come back to it?
So I'd say maybe 2022 is when I started to think, why don't you think about getting back into this again? I think I mentioned it's when I was in Southeast Asia travelling with my partner, Craig, and I took a sabbatical from work.
Yeah.
Craig did the same, and we went travelling around Southeast Asia, and I was like, I really want to see these cities in a different, I don't want to just like walk around everywhere and
Yeah.
get tuk-tuks. Like, why don't we jog? Because I think
Yeah.
it's a really good way to see a city.
Yeah,
So like
absolutely.
jogging round and seeing a place, I was like, do you know what? I'm not even that tired.
Was he a runner then at that
No,
time?
no.
Right.
No, he's not a runner.
Was Craig tired?
Surprisingly, no, because he does keep himself quite fit. But I was like, remember thinking, I'm like, it's all right. This I've just done like a 10k run round this city.
Yeah.
It's boiling hot, and I don't feel too bad. So from doing that, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to get up in the morning. Like we
Yeah.
stayed on this little island called Koh Mak, which was perfect for running. It's like in Thailand. And it was just like a big round, well, like a circle, obviously,
Yeah.
like an island shape.
Yeah.
But it was all paved and roads, and it was just perfect for running.
Yeah.
So like I thought, after doing that and realising, do you know what, I feel all right running again. I decided to like get up in the mornings and do a gym workout, then just go and do like 5k every other day.
Yeah.
So I got into it from that, and I thought I could feel myself getting a bit fitter about 2022. So obviously the 8 months of travelling and exploring different cultures, did a lot of voluntary work and things like that,
Yeah.
which was massively fulfilling. I did actually think to myself, surely there's more to life than going back to England, doing what you were doing before, just like going through the daily grind. Why don't you
Yeah.
throw yourself into doing something you're good at again?
Yeah.
Something you enjoy and something you're good at.
Yeah.
You'll probably do all right at it, won't you then?
Yeah.
So I did that, and yeah, the rest is history.
So did you join Salford then when you came back, or did you run just kind of on your own?
So
again, or-
kind of ran on my own, got a bit of advice, on certain different sessions off people, but I think it was I did a park run at Stretford Park Run, and like my hip went like, and I was like, oh god, here we go. This is 32, however old I was then. This is 31, 32. And so I contacted Athlete Matters, which is obviously Duncan Mason's
right, yeah.
practice, who coaches at Salford.
Yeah.
Which was a bit of a sliding doors moment, because Duncan actually treated me when I was a junior as well.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So he remembered me, and like within my treatment time there, he just mentioned that, I've got a decent team here, and
Yeah.
one of my friends was also a member at the time, or is still a member. Her kids are members, Laura Lombard,
Oh.
good cross-country runner. And so I did a couple of runs with her after that appointment, and yeah, it just sounded great. Like
Yeah.
it just sounded like the exact kind of right environment that I needed to be in to, firstly, like, maybe improve, and secondly, just to get that bit of fun back in
Yeah.
my life.
And did you just join Salford and haven't looked back?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I properly joined in 2024.
Yeah.
And then on and off, did the odd session. I couldn't fully commit to it from like that August 24 because I'd just moved up to Rosendale. We were renovating our house and I was really busy with work. Like work was taking up a lot of time, and so I committed to like the odd session, but I didn't throw myself into it and commit myself fully to it until maybe April last year. That's when I started coming to every session and not missing anything really.
We had a message from Katie Reynolds in advance of the podcast.
Oh, right.
Saying she was really looking forward to this. And I was thinking, as you've been saying all this, that your story is very similar to Katie's. Because Katie's a previous guest.
Yeah.
And she was a successful junior and then quite a long time out of the sport, and then she's come back, ended up training at Salford, and just a very similar story between the two of you.
Yeah, it's great, and Katie's such an asset to the club. Like, she's the ladies' team manager, and I mean, she can be in New York one day and then she's like in Manchester the next. And I just think like you're not going to get anyone more committed than that. They're willing to fly across the Atlantic to come and, you know, turn up and be part of the team for the relays. So I find that pretty inspiring.
I guess it helps both of you having been through the same experiences. Training together. I'm sure you're good friends and you chat away at training. Brilliant. Yeah, she's so good to have around.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And again, if any kind of listeners who might have been out of it for a while and are just kind of coming back, anything that you would kind of say to them, words of advice or...
It's never too late to give it a go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm under no illusion I'm going to go and break world records now. Like, I know I'm not, but... You know what? Like, just give yourself a chance.
You've come back so strong, though, haven't you? Like,
I've given it a go. You know, but I think that's consistency as well. Like, you know, I mentioned I went to some of the sessions when I initially joined Salford, but it was only really last year that I started to like lock in and do the 3 sessions a week with a club, and those are non-negotiable. And I still try and do that now, as long as like work and life doesn't get in the way, which obviously it does sometimes. But it's probably the consistency really that's helped that.
Fab. Oh, good. Well, that's all my questions, so I'll hand over to Dave.
Thank you, Katie. Welcome, Oriel.
Thank you.
Okay, so you sent some really great information over, which helped us put these questions together. And you mentioned that you developed Red S at a time when it barely raised an eyebrow. So can you tell us a bit about Red S and how, looking back at your training at the time, what were some of the warning signs that you wish you'd spotted?
Yeah, so RED's relative energy deficiency in sport is essentially just when you've not got the amount of energy in your body to sustain a healthy body. So symptoms can be, you know, cessation of your period, lack of energy, heavy legs, brain fog. It messes with your hormones. It plays havoc with all sorts of things, and it can either be through overtraining or underfueling, possibly both. And obviously if you layer in life stress onto that, it's just all things that will eat away at the energy in your body. So I developed that that was probably like 2008, 2009, and my period stopped. And to be honest, that was the only symptom at the time, but I obviously knew that wasn't normal.
Probably the most noticeable.
That's the most noticeable. But I mean, I was very lean as well, like a lot leaner than I am now, and I'm lean now, you know, so I was really quite small. But I mean, my mum cooked some fantastic meals, I was fed, I was well fed and everything, but I just think I was doing loads and loads, not just at the track as well, like school and going out socialising, and definitely not fueling properly around those sessions, and I think that's probably what caused it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you're the type of person that goes all in with something, and if
Yeah.
you go all in with more than one thing, then it can all get on top of you.
Definitely.
How old were you then?
Maybe 14, 15,
Right, yeah.
16. Like it lasted for about the whole time that I was doing really well.
Yeah. So did you notice an effect on your performance at all?
Well, I actually think that contributed again to me stepping away from the sport, because I think after the Worlds I just plateaued.
Yeah.
I wasn't improving, and I was like, I'm training. Obviously still feel a little bit blue after not doing as well at the Worlds as I wanted to. But I just completely plateaued, and I was like, I don't really know what to do here. And I think looking back, that was a big reason for it, because it's a massive symptom of you not improving. So that I'd say that was another symptom of it, really.
Yeah, and you mentioned that the mindset that lighter is not necessarily better. So how do we change that narrative for young girls currently training at Bolton or Salford or anywhere else?
I would definitely say that the correct mindset, in my opinion, is stronger equals longevity in the sport. You know, if you're stronger and fit and healthy now, not skinny and not fueling properly, you know, you're going to last longer in the sport, and ultimately you're going to probably going to get PBs and run faster. So I think that's kind of the thing I'm trying to push at the moment.
Yeah. It's trying to change that narrative, I think, isn't it? Like, say, especially around like young, vulnerable girls.
Yeah, and I think, do you know what? I think it is a lot better now. You know, when you go down to Salford, a lot of the girls look very healthy and they look after each other, and you can tell when I speak to them, like, fueling, I think, is actually a lot more prominent.
Yeah. When we had Duncan on for his episode, he was really big on it.
Yeah.
He was saying it's so important to fuel, and they put a
talk
big emphasis
it.
on the training weekends away.
Yeah,
That, you know, they do the batch cooking and make sure that everybody is fueling correctly.
Yeah, and it's vitally important. It's something I had no idea about when I was running as a teenager.
I think the awareness and the information now is so much better than it was back then.
Yeah, like so much better. It's like night and day compared to like 2009, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I think the likes of Keely, who are obviously absolutely amazing. Like, she looks really healthy. Yeah. And I think athletes like Keely and other athletes of her ilk that look really healthy and strong, like, they're like poster girls for it as well. So I do think we are in a better place.
Helps, massively.
Yeah, I think we're in a better place in terms of athletes fueling a little bit better because it's a bit more prominent online. But perhaps, you know, behind the scenes there is still a bit of a long way to go. Who knows? I'd like to think not, but just got to keep pushing it.
There's some pressures around like social media and stuff, isn't there, still? But I do think, because it's something that's more spoken about, like I said, in terms of like Red S, there's much more knowledge and awareness about it
massively.
Now, so
yeah, and it's not just women.
No, exactly.
It's men as well, and it isn't just a female only, a female centric problem. It is men as well, and so it's not just women that need to fuel and to feed the hormones to be healthy women. It's men that need to fuel so that they're healthy men as well.
Who was the athlete? Is it Jake?
Jake Smith, the marathon runner, he's been really vocal about it on his social media.
But if you look at him previously and now, he's running faster, isn't he? And he's a unit. He really is.
Is he from Wales?
He is,
So I obviously don't have Instagram because I'm bloody in 2001 still. But he's a brilliant runner, isn't he? Yeah. And I've seen pictures of him. He's quite hench, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I remember he did a podcast interview about his Red S, and he said that you know, he took it to the extreme where he went training in Uganda, probably was under fueling, but because he believed that he needed to be lighter to be faster, he was going out running in the heat with a jacket on with all these Ugandan runners.
Jesus Christ.
You know, he said he just absolutely dug himself into a hole.
It's mental, and I think, like, even now I'm still learning so many different things about the sport just by being at Salford as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm quite lucky. There's a really healthy culture at Salford around stuff like fueling and friendship, and there's a really good sense of camaraderie. You know, there's no comparing yourself to other athletes. Everyone's got their own path, and it's just a really good culture to be a part of. So I'm lucky on that. But I think it is looking at the whole picture as well. It's not just limited to your training days. What you eat on the day you're training or racing, it's, well, hang on, what are you doing on the other days as well? And it's the whole picture. And I think sometimes if you have a crap day the day before and you're rushing around and not eating properly, the effect on your training the day after is massive. So I think it's consistent, healthy habits with fueling.
Yeah. This might be a silly question, but does Red S then go and you get over that, or does it still hang around a bit?
So I think, so my periods came back. I don't know long term whether that would have an effect on my joints, because I know it can affect because of the lack of estrogen in your body, because you've not got enough fat to feed your hormones, basically. I think there is like a long term implication of getting like osteoporosis. Like, I think you can get testing for it, to be honest. So I don't know if that's going to affect me in the future. I mean, touch wood, my joints seem all right. No, a bit of creaking when I go upstairs and get up in the morning.
That's normal as we get older.
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty normal, isn't it? So yeah, touch wood, you do get healthier. I think the more weight you put on and you know, the stronger you get again.
Yeah. And if you could go back to 15-year-old Oriel, what is the one thing you'd tell her about the relationship between food and the finish line?
Eat more carbs.
Eat more carbs.
Yeah, eat more carbs, and a bit like what I just said, you know, like I don't even remember having like a snack before training sessions. I'd have my breakfast. I'm from Bolton, so you'll have to excuse me. It's breakfast, dinner and tea where I come from.
Again, going back to Duncan's episode.
Breakfast, dinner and tea.
Again, going back to Duncan's episode, I remember one particular quote which I thought was brilliant, and he said he was talking to an athlete about when a training session starts, and somebody had said, it starts with the warm-up at 6:30 or whatever time. No, it doesn't. It starts with your pre-race fueling.
Yeah.
That's when your session starts.
Yeah. And
it ends when you have your post-race snack.
Yeah.
So you get something in before you go home.
Yeah, that's such a good way of putting it, actually. Like, I don't remember ever doing that. I think I'd just have my lunch at school, like a tuna baguette, and then that'd be at 12 o'clock, then I'd train at 6 I wouldn't have anything in between.
Oh my God,
I'd just have like a bottle of Lucozade before the session, and then I love chatting me. I could talk a glass of eye to sleep. So like after sessions, I'd be cooling down and I'd be chatting after the session, be chatting to Mike. Then it'd be 2 hours and I'd be like having my tea 2 hours after the session without anything. Yeah. So like when I think about it, no wonder I ended up in a bit of a quandary with it really. Whereas now it's like I'm on it because I want to be healthy and I want to feel better in the sessions.
There's a lot more like awareness, isn't there, around like how important protein is and that you shouldn't be scared of carbs, and I think all those kind of worries that people might have had in the past, there's a lot more narrative around it now.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah.
So you've actually found now that fueling during sessions with half a gel or perhaps some tailwind does help you bounce back after training sessions. So would you say this has been a game changer you wish you'd known about during your first stint in the sport?
I'd say so. Like, there was a bit of a telltale sign that, like, because I was thinking to myself, when I started some of the harder stuff, especially in winter, like heat and park grass reps, I'd be battered. Like, I'd have a good breakfast, and I'd fuel in that window afterwards. I'd have like a milkshake and maybe like a bagel or something, or like a banana and something proteinous. And then I'd just still be battered for the afternoon. I'd like be sat on my couch. I'm like, I don't even want to go out and socialise. Like, I don't want to move. Like, this doesn't feel that normal. Yeah. Like, I've trained. I shouldn't be. I've not just run a marathon. And I found that I think people obviously use energy at different rates. But I was thinking, I'm not having anything in that session. And it's like a 2 mile warm up. You do your session, 2 mile cool down, but you're still out and about moving around for like quite a long period of time. So I've like just started to introduce like a bit of a gel or like an energy drink. I mentioned Tailwind, which tastes like pond water. If I'm being fully honest, it's not great. Not that I know what pond water tastes like. I can guess.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I can guess. But it is actually quite good. It's giving me a bit of a boost in the session, and I'm not feeling as trashed after it. Yeah. So there's got to be something in that, hasn't there?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
And you started running again in the humidity of Asia, as you mentioned earlier, during your sabbatical. So was there a specific run or a moment where the competitive pull actually came back?
Possibly, yeah. I think I mentioned an island called Cormac, and like I said, it was like really great for like tempos maybe. It was dead flat and round, and you could really get into a rhythm. And there was like this one little route, and I thought, right, I'm going to do 5k today. And I did a 5k early because it was too boiling to do it like after 7 a.m. over there. And like I think I did like 21.5 minutes, and I was like, that's all right, that. I'm quite pleased with that. And so maybe that was it, because I remember thinking that was all right for a 5k time.
And you've already mentioned about reconnected with Duncan and how that helped you. Do you want to elaborate any more on that that story of how you reconnected, and just did it make you feel safe to return to the sport?
Yeah, because he's obviously got a really great setup, hasn't he, there? I mean, you've got some fantastic, it's like the quality and the calibre of the athletes at Salford now, like the junior section are just amazing. Like, they teach me a thing or two every time I go down. Like, they're so talented, so good. Then you've got Sinead, she's fantastic. She's doing really great things, and like
she's another great example of someone who looks physically fit and strong.
Yeah, it's like such good role models to have at the club. So like, yeah, I do, but also feel really safe amongst all the youngsters as well. And obviously the culture that they've created, that Duncan's created because he started the junior section. Like it's you can only feel safe. Everyone's so welcoming and nice.
I've seen that group training, and it just must be the envy of any female training group in the northwest, because
amazing.
See you all, you're all very evenly matched. You're all pushing each other, and you all seem like great friends.
Yeah, it's the same at races as well, isn't it? Like it's cross country or anything, you can always see all the Salford girls all come together.
Oh yeah, we're all pals, and it's nice. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. I mean, that is all my questions. I just wanted to just briefly touch on how you met Katie. Katie over here.
Okay.
Katie K. Because you ran together in a team at the Inter-Counties cross country over the winter, didn't you?
Of course we did, yeah.
So
we did.
when I suggested you as a guest, Katie remembered you and said she
Yeah,
thought
Like
you'd
our
be
orange
great.
vests on.
We had our orange vest. Yeah, it was a good day out, that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I must say, though, that was one of the toughest cross-country races I've ever done.
It was tough. It was really tough, yeah.
And I mean, like, compared to when I used to do, like, the 5K Red Roses, to go up to 8K and, like, slog up hills, like, it literally...
It was tough. You smashed it, though.
It was hard. Yeah, it was. I was really pleased.
Yeah.
Like, really pleased with, like, a top 70 finish.
Yeah.
Like, over the moon, but, wow, so hard.
Yeah. But again, then, they are nice events, aren't they? That's what I like about cross country.
Yeah.
Come together, you meet different people from different clubs, and it's just, it always has such a friendly feel, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, the camaraderie is great, and that's what I really like about cross country as well. Like, you can go, you've always got your burgermans lined up. There's always, there's always a smell, isn't there? Like, you know it's cross country season. And you smell the burgers and all the grease.
Yeah.
Right, that is all my questions. I'm going to hand over to Callum now.
Cheers, Dave. So we've got quite a few questions on Salford here. So you've already mentioned about the culture and it being the right environment for you making a comeback. But you said that you noted that Salford, not everyone does the same thing. So how's that individualised approach compared to that rigid one-size-fits-all groups?
Yeah, so I think obviously we're all mixed abilities. So sometimes we have like one or two groups relative to, fitness really. But obviously you don't want to make anyone feel bad by doing that. And so like, you say, okay, that person's in that group or this person's, and just relative to pushing each other along really like that. And I think like, just as an example, like on a Saturday morning track, I'll be doing an 800 maybe in a couple of weeks, and then you've got the next person that might be doing a 3K. So Duncan adapts the sessions relative to that. So even though we do, we train in a pack and we are a big group, it is quite individualised in that, we'll jump in with other people now and again just to help them out on their session. Or like sometimes some of the junior boys, I'll run with them, and I'll be chasing them because they're really speedy. But it's a good way of making it a bit more, like exclusive to your event by training with like, the younger ones that might be at your level.
So do you let Duncan know what you're training for, so he'll know individually what each of your goals are, and then try and tailor the session to... Obviously, he's got to try and get a session that's suitable for everyone, but try and individualise as much as he can.
Yeah, and I think in the main, like, we all do the same thing, but sometimes at different paces.
Right.
So, like, there could be someone that's, like, running really, really fast 5K times, and they'll be doing K reps a lot quicker than I'll be doing them. So, like, my threshold will be different, but we'll still be in the same group because we can, help each other out still in that. Or, like, I might jump in at 800 on their K rep. And that approach seems to work. Yeah,
that's good. So we had a few questions come in, mainly from the Salford ladies. So Katie Reynolds said, how excited are you to join the Salford girls in Font-Romeu, eat croissants and be happy in the mountains?
Oh, very excited.
Oh.
She kept going on about the croissants, didn't she, when she
I've
came
seen
up?
them. They put videos, don't they, on like Instagram. You won't have seen it, will you? But they put videos on Instagram and stuff, and they've been before, and it always looks great. And everything's always around coffee and croissants.
It's mega. I went last year with the girls and the Salford crew. It was just unreal, like as an experience. I think as a runner, try and go if you can.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's so inspiring as well. Like, you go to the gym and you've got like the French international team doing plyometrics.
Yeah. I went last summer and it's such a great training environment.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's hard work. Like, it is hard. Like I'm asthmatic, so I found it a bit of a struggle the first time. But I didn't let it stop me. Like, it's so good. And
it does always look amazing. I'll have to go for a trip.
Definitely. Get it booked in.
Yeah,
get it booked in.
So Katie also asked, how cool do you feel now that you've stepped up your technology game and learned how to voice note? So you're not on Instagram yet, but you know how to voice note.
So you're not that bad.
No, it's a game changer actually. It's transformed the way that I communicate with people. People are probably sick of me now, sick of my Fred Dibner voice.
So you said that the consistent threshold and tempo work was the missing piece in your comeback. So you mentioned obviously about consistency as well. So why do you think you avoided those as a junior, and how they've changed your racing now?
I think, I don't know if I did. I mean, if when I was a junior, I'd do a cross-country race every Saturday. So you could say that was like a hard threshold, 5K. So did I miss it? Maybe, but it wasn't like set in the programme from what I can remember because it is quite a while ago. But yeah, like I did a lactic threshold test at Salford Uni, maybe December, just to see what kind of zones I was training in, just to see if there was any way that I could kind of optimise my current training, because we do tempos with a club on your own. You sometimes do them built into a track session. And I always just worked towards like a 165 BPM for tempo, which was actually really high for me.
Right.
I found out that my lactic threshold was actually much lower, at like 158, not to go into the technicalities and bore you all. So that was quite interesting. But since doing that and slowing down on my tempos and keeping it below a certain, you know, heart rate, I feel like that's really helped me improve as well. So it has, I would say definitely has changed me. It's definitely made me more aerobically fit, which is where I was lacking last year.
Are you interested in those like numbers and?
Oh yeah.
Are you?
I'm a bit of a boffin.
Are you?
See, this is so this is the
It's
thing.
a shame Sean's maybe likes all his numbers and data, doesn't he? Graphs.
Like again, in contrast to when I was young, I wasn't bothered about anything like that. I was just like, right, go and race, enjoy it. Whereas now I'm like I'm on Strava obviously, and like when I've done a session, I'm like, right, how long have I been in that heart rate? So I'm like, glasses on, end of my nose, like, you know what I mean? Like, I do like looking.
You pay attention to the predicted times on Strava?
Not too far off, you know.
They're not. No.
The Strava ones are better than Garmin, I think.
Garmin are way off, aren't they?
Garmin thinks I'm like a 16-something 5k on it. Must be having a laugh.
Yeah, they're ridiculous, Garmin.
But the Strava ones,
I don't pay for Strava, so I don't know. I don't get one.
Yeah, see, I'm that much of a boffin, I do pay for it. I don't know whether that makes me a loser or not.
Well, I do it, so no, you're not a loser.
Right, fine. We're all cool here then.
So we mentioned before we started recording as well about the importance of track racing. So we've mentioned about there's Northern Leagues, there's Greater Manchester. I might get some of these wrong, but they don't seem to be well attended. So there was one on Sunday that
Greater Manchester Championships.
Yeah, so that wasn't well attended. You're running tomorrow, aren't you, at the BMC at Trafford? Can you tell us a bit about the track racing and how important it is for people within clubs to actually try and support, even just as a team event as well, rather than just an individual?
Yeah, I think it also goes back to the point about the importance of like keeping grassroots athletics alive and doing things for your team. I think turning out for your club is wholly important. Like, it's so, like, without the clubs there is no sport in the future. So I think really you need to get out and show up for your club, but also getting out and running on a track, you're gonna get faster on the road and the cross country ultimately. You know, you get a good turnover of speed going, you work in different systems on the track, you know, you're working in a lot more lactic acid, but that'll probably make you stronger, won't it, on the road, if that's your event, or even on the trails. I see a lot of benefit to track running.
So if not opposed to like you training on the track, but mainly racing as well. Some people saying racing under distance as well can start to bring you on.
I think so, yeah. I think racing, like say if you're a 5k runner, then, you know, get a couple of 1500s in your diary and get the legs turning over. You know, that start in your 5k then won't feel anywhere near as fast. Yeah,
Joe Hudak said that, didn't he, for his... He said he only starts to feel it at 3 or 4k, which everybody hates. You're a big believer on cross country, make better track athletes. We've so working both ways there. So after your northern and national cross country performances this winter, do you feel stronger on the track, and is it as strong as you felt as a teenager?
It's an interesting question, that. I don't know if... I ran 17:50 for 5k maybe in March, which was 6 seconds away from my actual lifetime best that I set when I was like in, you know, at my height, if you want to call it that. So I think aerobically I'm probably in a similar place to where I was when I was a junior athlete. But cross-country running, I think, it's like your bread and butter. I think if you're doing your 8 or your 15 on the track and upwards of that, I think, get some cross-country miles in your legs. Even if you just do 2 or 3, it just really helps with your strength. Gets you so strong, it gets your engine going, and I think that's so important in the latter stages of a track race.
Free strength and conditioning, as you said before.
Free strength and conditioning.
So you've mentioned about training alongside some of the best juniors. So how does it feel to be the older and wiser athlete in the group? But what's the most common advice that you give to them?
I think it's quite ironic, really, isn't it, me giving advice to people? But no, jokes aside, I think I always, again, stress the importance of fueling. Before your sessions, after your sessions, patience as well. You know, I think some of the younger ones are really keen and eager, which is superb. That's a good thing, but also, you know, sometimes it's just slow down a bit, be patient. I hate the cliche of trust the process, but it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
And again, just listen to your coach.
What have you learnt from the younger athletes then?
Ridiculous amounts. They really are so good. Like
how to voice note.
There's voice noting for a start. I think there's a couple of girls that want to get me an Instagram account, and they've said, right, we'll run it for you. So I was just like, okay, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
We have tagged someone in the post. So if you're not on Instagram, who are we tagging?
I don't know. It's not me, is it?
I think I've said this before. I'm sure I messaged you once and said, I've tagged you.
We've tagged the stranger.
Not on Instagram.
That's crazy, isn't it? But do you know what? I'm going back in time when I did my dissertation at uni in 2014. Previous to that, I did have an Instagram account, but then I was that invested in scrolling and not invested in my dissertation. I ended up deleting it completely. So I don't know if that's still like the old account, but I thought I'd deleted that, to be honest.
I only tagged it because Katie followed it, so I just thought
that's
it must have been.
Remember, I said to you once, I'd sent you a message, and you were like, I've not got it. I said on Instagram, you were like, I'm not on Instagram. I thought, shit. We're messaging.
Well, whoever this Oriel Hardman is on Instagram that we've tagged, she has no posts. She doesn't follow anybody, and she's got 2 followers.
Oh no!
And one of them's me.
Katie and Callum Rowlinson.
That's crackers, yeah. No, I don't.
That's brilliant.
And I promise I'm not like a lurker either. That's like behind the scenes looking at everything. Like I'm just. Sorry, what were we saying then? I've gone off.
What you've learnt from the younger athletes? So someone's going to do your Instagram.
So we've got like they're all quite keen on getting me set up on TikTok. I think they just think I'm funny, to be honest. Like we've got this girl from Bolton who sounds like Fred Dibner talking at them. They're like, but no, I think pacing. They're really good at pacing sessions. Some of the younger athletes, like especially like the ones that are like getting quite good. So like even now, after like such a time out of sport, say if we do 300s, I'll like storm out the first one, and they're all pacing it well behind me, and I'm dead by rep 6, and they're just like breezing through it. So like I actually could learn a thing or two from them about pacing the sessions properly, because I'm still a bit eager and don't really think about it still, which is quite interesting. But yeah, some of them are so wise and sensible for their age. And so driven and focused as well. It's like really inspiring to see.
So Amelia Platt asked a question, but you have already answered it. So it was just around how you dealt with the pressures of competing at a world-class level at such a young age.
Yeah, so I think in addition to the things that I've already mentioned as well, like lean into your support network, lean into family, friends, and don't just focus on your identity in athletics. Get yourself an identity off the track, the cross country, off the trails. Enjoy your life as well. Get a bit of balance, because that pressure, it becomes all consuming if you're just doing it all the time. So I think definitely that really. And
you're so exposed as well on the track, aren't you? And you can feel, you could obviously feel that. Whereas if you're going doing a trail run or anything, you're out of the way. A little bit.
I've not done track for years, but I remember, if you go to those meetings where you were chasing a time, every time somebody was shouting out the lap times, that was all that mattered. And if you fell off the pace, it was just like, it's the end of the world. Everybody's watching you.
But do you know what? In reality, no one's. There will be people watching you, but no one's bothered.
No, absolutely.
And I think that's getting to grips with that. No one's asked, are they really?
No, exactly.
So
no one's bothered what time you did on a Tuesday night.
No, the heck. No, they're more bothered about getting home and having a brew.
As early as possible.
You missed a nice compliment off Amelia there.
Wow. Oh yeah, sorry. Amelia said, Oriel is such a big role model for the youngsters at our club.
That's lovely. Thanks very much. That's really sweet.
Couldn't miss that bit off.
Yeah, sorry about that. So the goal is simple, that you said, keep improving. So now that you've got that 1500 metre PB under your belt at the Trafford Open, was that a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, so I think I just shaved a couple of seconds off around 4:43, which I was buzzing with. I was so happy with that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really expecting it, but I think, happy with that.
So what's the big target for the rest of 2026?
It's hard to say, really. I think I'm going to see how these next few Open 800 metre races go. Like, I prefer 800 over 1500.
I was going to say, is that your distance? 800,
Yeah,
did you
I do
say?
prefer it, but I've not got the same turnover of speed that I had. Like, definitely, I've just not. Like,
Yeah.
you can train it as much as you want. I'm just
Yeah.
not as sharp as I used to be. So I think doing the 800 metre will be a lot more challenging now. But as an event, I do enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Call me a sicko, because it's just lactic acid in
Yeah.
it, really. So I'd like to do more 800s. I'd like to shave some more time. I'm probably not going to get an 800 metre PB now, but you know, who
You never
knows?
know.
Maybe under
Exactly.
215, get towards that 210 mark this year. I'd be really happy with that.
Cool.
Do you prefer like track or road running?
I think for competing, I don't know. I do really enjoy cross country.
Yeah.
Strangely, like I know there's a bit of a contrast, isn't there, between
Yeah.
the two? But I do like the cross country. I think it's track. I do prefer track.
Do you do any of the longer distances on the road? So like 10k, half marathon?
No.
No.
I think I probably would. I'd do a 10k
Yeah.
just to support the wider training plan. I think.
Yeah. But it's nothing that.
Nothing that really. I'm not really attracted to it. No,
Yeah.
no. And 5Ks are pretty good as well, just to give you a good indicator of where your fitness is at, I think.
Yeah.
So
No
yeah.
marathons on the horizon then, or nothing like that. No.
I don't think so. I don't think it's very me. I don't think it
Yeah.
suits my running style. Like I run too much on my toes, and I do run like a track runner.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'd lend itself to someone loping around London.
So now it's time for Desert Island Run, which Callum Rowlinson came up with for us. So you choose your dream run location, distance, and a person to run with.
Oh, I really admired Haile Gebrselassie. I just thought he looked like such a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go and run in Ethiopia that's his country, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go and run there and go and run at altitude and just get chatting to him. He looked like a nice guy, and I bet he had some tales to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a nice 10k.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. I don't.
Gotta make it worthwhile.
Let's
You can't do
see.
800 metres.
Yeah, let's see how the altitude's treating me. Yeah, maybe 10k is a nice distance to have a chat with someone,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
So we've got a quick fire round now. So cross country, yes or no?
Yes.
Park run, is it a race or not a race?
We didn't touch on that, did we? Did you do part runs?
Yeah, I don't mind a park run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind a park run. Is it a race? I'm going to say a race, because every time I do one, I always end up sending it.
You get a time at the end of it, don't you?
You get a
So-
time, and
Yeah.
like the amount of
Your
blokes as
position.
well. They see a woman on the shoulder, they're
Yeah.
like, not letting her go past me.
Be the boys.
Yeah.
Carbons for park run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
What shoes do you go for as well? That's another thing we didn't.
We're not
touch
making
on.
it very quick, are we?
No, we're not. Usually it's the other way
I know.
around.
Yeah. Well, so I wear, in terms of the carbons, I've got some of the Puma ones.
Are they the Fast Stars or the DV8 Elites?
Oh, God knows. I think they're like.
Kate is the Puma expert now.
I think. Oh, do you know what? I couldn't tell. Do you know what? Should we have a look?
They've got to be.
Have
on
they got
the-
the carbon plate?
Fast Star.
Fast Star.
Fast
3.
Star,
There's
yeah.
like a thing in the middle, like
Yeah.
a bridge in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're
the
so
Fast
quick,
Stars,
aren't they?
Yeah.
So I've got those, but I actually got them off Vinted.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
really?
but like they were new,
Yeah.
and I got them sent for item verification because I thought you can't mess this up.
Yeah.
You can't have
Yeah.
fake shoes.
Yeah, I was going to say they
And
definitely
they got
real.
verified.
Yeah.
So I used them for racing. I have got some Nike carbons for like tempo runs, but I don't tend to wear them that much in training
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I don't think they're that good for your feet long term, are they?
Yeah.
And then on the track there's like a carbon in my spikes as well.
Oh yeah, carbon spikes.
Yeah,
now,
the
I've seen
Nike
that, yeah.
ones. Yeah.
The
Did you wear them
dragon,
for cross
dragon
country?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, not for cross country, no.
No.
I don't know. It'd benefit you too much
Yeah.
really on the country.
No.
Maybe.
Not when it's muddy, only on a firm course.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You've got the bounce then, haven't you?
Yeah.
Back to the quick fire round.
The slow fire round.
Yeah.
So running any weather or head for the treadmill.
Bit of a mad ass me. I'd probably say treadmill. You know, if it's bad. I hate the wind.
Stretching or no stretching.
Stretching.
Gym work on Strava, yes or no.
Yeah. Get it on there.
Post
Anything
run
on
beer or post run protein shake.
Probably protein shake. Bit of a liability when I've had a drink.
Stop your watch or not stop your watch during a run. So if you're on an easy run.
Stop your watch. Yeah.
Track races or no track races.
Track races.
And then ice baths and saunas, yes or no.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's all our questions. So thank you very much for coming on.
No
It's been
problem.
Really good.
Thanks so much for having me. It's
No,
been great fun.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, it was really good that.
I look forward
Thank
to seeing
you.
what you do, and good luck tomorrow. When
Thanks
you
very
race.
much. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
best of
keep you posted. I'll wear the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode. In our next episode, we'll be interviewing a Bramhall runner who has PBs in the 5k of 23:04, 10k 46:30, half marathon 1:46:46, and the marathon 3:49:30. We'll be speaking to Caroline Canty.